Daniel from Reverie, we're about to open up the box of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. So it's Australian stock. If you're still waiting on it in Australia, it's coming. We've been on the waiting list just like everyone is. We own this. Some of the reviews out there say they're going to send it back because they haven't actually waited for it yet, but this is owned by Reverie. Firstly, I just want to point out how thin the box is. Most compact cameras come in slightly bigger boxes, but this, for a professional camera, you can see in the sides how thin it is. You'd be surprised, like it just came in an envelope for us, thinking that it was going to come in a box, but you know, just from the size of this thing, it's no need. On the back of the box, you can see that it has just some details. If you're still thinking about it before you've got it in front of you, you can read up on it. We've read up on this camera, and we realize that it's actually a good camera. The quality of the pictures can be quite amazing. Although there is a couple of issues with the camera. If you haven't looked into it, I'm not going to elaborate on them now. But it's still worth looking into this camera, and hopefully Blackmagic will come up with some updates so it'll fix those issues. I'll just go around on the side. DaVinci is included in the box, although DaVinci 10 is coming out. Then it's compatible with Final Cut Pro, Premiere, and Smoke, and also Avid Media Composer. On the front, we have a micro 4/3 mount. It's a Super 16 sensor, which is smaller than the original cinema camera. So if you want to check up about the sensors, although people are saying that this sensor is more compatible with better results with video. So you're going to get some really good image quality out of this. It's 1080p recording, and it records ProRes HQ. So the HQ will give you some extra data, and I'm sure that works with the dynamic range. It says on the box that it's got raw cinema DMG, but it's not included in the firmware. So we'll still have to be waiting on that. And then the other issue is that the camera, it's not really an issue, but you've just got to understand that the camera itself can only be compatible with SDXC cards that are like reading over 45 megabits a second. So in Reverie, we've been using cards for our EX3, which is what we're recording on at the moment. We don't have those cards, so I'm going to have to test our fastest one there, which is an extreme 30 megabits a second. But yeah, you'll be buying this camera thinking that you're ready to go. Well, you've got to actually buy a few extra pieces of equipment to make it work. So point out, the camera came with a slit, so I'm just going to pull it open. Alrighty, there we go. So the box itself, nice and shiny. We'll just pull it open underneath. And there we go. Here's the box. Okay, first thing you get in the box, little note about raw recording. What I was saying before, the software hasn't been updated yet. In here is this is just the software for, there's an SD card there. It's just a software for DaVinci, so they've figured, oh, no CDs are required. We'll just put it in a card. Okay, the camera. There it is there. Wow, nice and small. Okay, so they give you plugs for all your different countries, power adapter, little strap for the camera itself, and there's one battery in there. One thing I want to say with batteries is that, well, firstly, they give you 800 milliamp hour battery. You can order online. I'll post a link at the bottom, 1400 milliamp hour, and that'll hopefully give you a bit more power. They've been saying that the power gets consumed quite quickly with this type of camera. So you're going to have to buy a lot of batteries to use this piece of equipment. Here's the camera itself. Wow, it is quite small. It's you know, probably the size of any other standard compact camera out there. And I'll just point out as well, I've got here a Canon EOS M. You can see the size of this camera is a little bit thinner, but the the width of it is probably a little bit wider than that camera as well. Just put that over there. I've also got another Canon compact camera. And again, that's showing how big the Blackmagic compared to the standard compact camera actually is, but it still is quite small. And then I've also got your standard iPhone, and it's about the length of an iPhone, but much wider than the iPhone itself. I'll just put that back in the box. I'm gonna have to charge this thing and give it a whirl. One little tip in thinking about this camera, which is quite cool that the Blackmagic have done, is they've given you a couple of mount points here and here. And people would probably think of using this camera as a B camera, or you can set it up to use it as an A camera, however you want it. For us, we're probably thinking a B camera, but another little idea is that you can do is possibly, if you're in the 3D game, just an idea is this is probably one of the closest cameras you can get without a mirror box for fitting the lenses towards each other. If you can imagine it, you have this camera as your right, and you flip it over and you can have a left, and that allows you to get the cameras, you know, probably about 5 centimeters apart in the eye area. And if you're using EOS lenses or so on, you're going to see that your focal range will be a lot tighter. But you can just grab a plate to mount this on, a slider plate for 2 cameras, and you'll be able to pull your convergence point away and closer to each other with this type of camera. So it's just an idea, and that'll allow you to get maybe 2 of these cameras. And you know what, they're only $1,000 each. You can try it out. The quality of the footage, if you're happy with it, go for it. Buy the second camera, then you can actually probably use these as a A and B. Anyway, that's Reverie. We're probably going to give this a test now. If there's any other videos, we'll post it up and so on. That's the kit from Blackmagic. Thank you.